So we left the Tampa area and headed north, and we encountered our first rain of the trip, and it rained pretty good for us. But that's okay. I don't mind driving when it's raining. And this is the approach to Pensacola, which kind of surprised me. Did you see there? We're going in a tunnel. And so here we go. We go down into the tunnel, and it was a really long tunnel. One does not expect a coastal town to have a tunnel, but apparently Pensacola has one, and it's a good long tunnel too. And when we come out of the tunnel, we're going to take our exit off here to the right, and we get this gorgeous view of, I think it is the Black River and also the port there. And then we go right into Pensacola, and we're going to find our way to Fort Pickens here in just a few minutes.
Oh yeah, we are going across that bridge.
Awesome. White River Street, east.
Exit right.
Would be
Now's a great time to take a deep breath. In 0.1 miles, continue straight.
This is going to curve around, go across that bridge, I think.
No, it's not going to happen.
Oh, yes it is. Look,
Yes.
that takes us over to the barrier island where we're going to be.
Nice.
That's awesome.
In half a mile, continue straight.
Yeah, that's good. That's all I needed. Of course, now all the cool places are gone. Oh wait, this is where we turn?
Yep. Yeah, turn right here.
Turn right.
Okay, so we turned onto Fort Pickens Road, and for the next 6 miles, you are going to see some of the most beautiful white sugar sand beaches right along the road, with the bay on one side and the Gulf of America on the other side. This was such a wonderful, beautiful drive, especially as the sun was setting. We were trying very hard to get to the campgrounds before the sunset so we could get out on the ocean, and
Hi there.
in just a minute
How are
you'll
you
see if we
today?
made it.
Good.
Y'all enjoy?
Thank you kindly.
the
stamps?
They do it at the bookstore in the Ford.
In the
Thank
fort?
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have a map?
Yep.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Y'all enjoy?
Yep, thank you. We are at Gulf Islands National Seashore, and this is absolutely spectacular. Take a look.
Stunning.
Look at this. We've got the bay, I guess it is, here on the
Pensacola Sound,
right.
I think it is.
Pensacola Sound
Yeah.
there.
Could be wrong.
And this totally awesome sunset that's starting to start up.
Starting to color.
Yep.
a bit.
And to our left, we have like I said, this was one awesome drive, and there were lots of places to pull over so you could get out in the water and play. This park has a lot of stuff to do. We showed our parks pass at the ranger station and then found our place to camp, and from there we headed out to the beach. Here is a quick view of the boardwalk to access the Gulf Beach from the campground. It was about a half a mile round trip, and the boardwalks went almost out to the beach.
Hello everyone! So we headed north and we're in snow. No, just kidding. We made it to the Gulf of America, and we're gonna watch the sunset on this gorgeous white sugar sand beach. What an amazing evening and a fabulous drive here. Wow! Oh, it's fabulous! It's cool and delicious!
While enjoying the fresh Gulf air and the sunset, I did a time lapse and some creative photos. Making carnivore pizza tonight. It's going to have Jimmy Dean sausage in it tonight, which is not very clean, and a variety of cheeses that I have here, mozzarella and some, I don't know, some Irish cheese, and then I got some mozzarella, or some Parmesan, and some tomato sauce, and some homemade Italian seasoning. I'm going to drive around the campground and give you a good look because a lot of people like to see what the campgrounds look like before they arrive, and I'm totally into looking at other people's rigs. So this campground had some clean but dated bathrooms and plenty of hot water. There was electric and water at most sites, and a washer and dryer, and this really cool water fountain that you could fill gallon jugs in for fresh water. They also had a dump station and a nice big dumpster.
Hello? No, I'm sorry, Steve and Audra aren't here. Have a nice day. Good morning, beautiful people. We are at Gulf Islands National Seashore at Fort Pickens Campground this morning, and we spent the night here last night, and we made it here just in time to walk across the street and through the, I think they call them wetlands, to the beach, and we got to watch the sunset last night. Today we're headed out to the fort, and we're going to explore the fort, and after we're done here on the island for a few hours, we're headed north to crystal hunting. So everybody stay tuned. We got a great video coming for you.
I think you're right. I think that's like a concession stand for the beach.
Yep.
Where they sell treats and stuff. Probably have bathrooms in there too. It's like
We'll go down to the fort, and then we'll make our way back by stopping at all of these. Good morning. Thank you, Lord, for such a beautiful morning. It's not storming. It's not pelting rain. It's not super windy.
another beautiful sunny day.
Look at this beautiful drive.
It's gorgeous.
This.
Looks like we're starting to see part of the fort edge here.
Yep. Oh, you get to drive into the fort.
Oh, how cool is that?
Oh, that's pretty cool. That is pretty darn cool. What does it say here? It says Fort Pickens, 1834.
So built just
Look
30 years
at
before
that.
30 years before the Civil War. I bet you this was
Wow.
a moat at one time.
Oh.
The road takes you around the fort, so you really get a good idea how really big this fort is. And here we'll turn into the access road for the parking lot and the fort. All the roads were very well maintained and cleaned off of sand, at least when we were there. This fort is a star fort, which means that it's a square with battens on each corner, which make it look like a star. And if you saw my other video from Castillo de San Marcos over on the Atlantic side, this is the same kind of fort, but much, much larger.
Over there. Let's go that way real quick. Sign. It's a leg. Let's see what it says. It says ferry dock, fishing pier, water bottle filling station, mine room, storeroom, ferry, Fort Pickens Museum. It's that way. It wasn't in the museum, but maybe the museum in the bookstore.
Oh, I think they said it is in the entrance of the fort itself.
Oh, okay.
So I think we just, what do you think? Just
All right, yeah.
park and then
Yeah. We'll walk in there.
that's
Is that keeping you warm enough?
yes, I'm fine.
All right. Here we go. Let's walk around the fort. To the left here is the bathrooms, and there is more fort beyond. And let's go down this tunnel. On the right is the gift shop, and on the left was a series of rooms that looked like storage or possibly quarters for the men. Out in the parade ground, there was a lot to take in. The arches to the right are part of the original fort, and the black walls in front of us are the cement updates to the fort built around 1900.
Birding the cannon. How they work?
Let's take a look at the older section first. It's very evident here where the old and new sections intersect. These arches held arms and supplies, and a narrow gauge railroad was built inside the fort to move supplies around. You can see evidence of the rails in these arches floor. In the early 1800s, the United States Army built the bricked portion of Fort Pickens to help defend the Gulf Coast from overseas enemies. The Army used slaves to build the fort, and during the Civil War, ironically, Fort Pickens became a destination on the Underground Railroad. After the Civil War and after the Apache Wars ended in the 1880s, the Army concentrated Apache prisoners at Fort Pickens. One of its prisoners was famous Geronimo, a famous Indian military leader and medicine man. The fort within a fort had two 12-inch artilleries that would carriage or disappear behind the walls after firing a 1,070-pound shell. The battery could hit ships 8 miles away. They built several of these batteries on this end of Santa Rosa Island in the late 1800s and early 1900s. We visited the fort on a Thursday morning, mid-February, and had the fort to ourselves to explore. And explore we did. The experience of exploring this abandoned fort before the crowds arrived was priceless. A fort within a fort. Fort Pickens was past its prime when rifled artillery could penetrate its brick walls. The U.S. resuscitated the antiquated brick fort in 1898 with a reinforced concrete battery, Battery Pensacola. It's time for us to get back in the van and see the rest of this park. There were a lot of really nice, long, sweeping roads that you could get right next to the water. This is Pensacola Bay and the mainland beyond. I'm going to share a few interesting factoids about the fort. So Fort Pickens remained in Union control during the Civil War. In 1861, Union forces at Fort Pickens faced Confederates holding the mainland, and a few months later, the Confederates abandoned Pensacola. Fort Pickens was named after Major General Andrew Pickens, who fought with the Southern Carolina militia during the American Revolution. Its construction began in 1829 and was completed in 1834. Fort Pickens is the largest of the 4 forts built to defend Pensacola Bay and its Navy yards. The fee to enter the park is $15, free with your annual National Parks Pass. The park is cashless, so bring cards. The Florida Trail runs through the park, and you can access all parts of the park via the Florida Trail that goes through the campground and ends up at Fort Pickens. The fort supported an underwater minefield for many years. Okay, we are headed out of the fort proper, and we're going to go visit some of the other batteries that are here on the island.
Batteries 2, 3, 4, and Cooper.
It's hidden between this vegetated mound of battery 234 were soldiers who figured out solutions to pressing problems. Where should artillery crews aim the guns to strike an attacking ship? It took some fast teamwork. Soldiers in the nearby end towers would take simultaneous compass readings of approaching enemy ships and telephone the information to the plotting room. There, soldiers use the data to plot a triangle in a table, calculate the distance to the target, and relay their calculations to the gun crews for precise firing.
So this is battery 234.
Battery 234.
Fort Pickens. Oh, we're here. And then there's one more Langdon battery that we need to see. So this is the campgrounds, and then we came down to the fort, and we walked around the fort. Drove around that circle, yeah, and then we came back, and now we're on this loop right here. And
What a nice looking van.
The magnets on that.
Yeah. Let's see. Battery Cooper's rifles popped up, disappeared, and reappeared like a jack-in-the-box. The battery, built in 1906, had two 6-inch rifles mounted on disappearing carriages. When the guns were fired, the recoil automatically lowered them behind the concrete wall, which protected the crew while they reloaded the guns. Counterweights returned them to the firing position. During World War I, the U.S. Army removed the guns for possible use as railway guns in France. The gun you see here today came from the Smithsonian Institute. Oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah?
It's not metal. You put a plastic piece or something in here.
Yeah, it would have to be steel. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did. Oh, just so that people wouldn't mess with it. No.
Okay, ready?
Yep. And fire! Wow, that must have been one ride, huh?
I think so. Hey Malcolm, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, exactly. This is really cool. The battery is like really super close to where you park. So, you know, if you're challenged a little bit on how you can walk around, this is the place to come and enjoy some of Americans' history. This is Battery Langdon. It's the first one as you're entering the fort area. That was a cement one, so it must have been made in 1904.
Yep, of course I got to stop for a selfie with the van, and the drive out of this park was absolutely as amazing as the drive in at sunset. And you know, you just can't beat those sugar beaches and those big crashing waves. What a beautiful place to visit.
Karen has gotten us safely
to our very first Cracker Barrel.
We were Cracker Barrel virgins until now. Well, we're gonna spend the night here and then continue our wild journey
Yes, north.
tomorrow.
Where we have a great adventure.
Big adventure.
Big adventure. So
Huge.
stay tuned.